So I can honestly say in the 15 years or so of doing these resort reviews, this is probably going to be the most complicated one I've ever done. Barcelo Bavaro Palace. Good or bad? It's a loaded question. Stick with me. I'm going to ramble a bit. This is not going to be my most polished and refined video because there's a lot to unravel here. Yeah, this is tricky. So let's just get down to it. 800-pound elephant in the room. If you read any of the reviews, TripAdvisor, Expedia, the one thing this place always falls on its face with is food. I can honestly tell you, I'm not a picky eater. Those reviews are 100% true. It really pains me to say that because I'm very self-sufficient and I like to just kind of go in and have a good time. The food here is 4 out of 10, and I'm being really generous. So if you're a foodie, you're gonna have a tough time here. Now, we didn't get sick, it's nothing like that at all. You know, it wasn't like we had food poisoning. We get out of this noisy area here. You have people coming and going, getting ready for excursions, checking in, checking out. A lot of hustle and bustle over here. Yeah, if you're a foodie, if you're coming down here because you want to have the best piece of steak you've had in a long time, or the most amazing French cuisine or Italian food or whatever, this is not the place you want to be at. I'll emphasize again, no one in my party was sick. I haven't heard stories of anyone being sick. It's just the food is very subpar. Some of it is just completely, like literally just burned. Or pasta just completely being overcooked. Like, I hate the way I sound when I'm complaining about this. The food's no good here though. Sorry, it just is what it is. First night we did buffet, we figured, it's a buffet. What do you expect, right? Then we started doing the specialty restaurants. We did the steakhouse first, which I was super excited for. I think halfway through I was done with my meal. I couldn't even eat it. It was just pure grizzle, pure fat. No good. My wife picked at hers a little bit, and we ended up, I think, getting some snacks at the buffet just to fill our bellies. The consensus is the Italian food is one of the worst restaurants. We're trying that one tonight. Because again, I like to go in with an open mind. I don't want someone, I don't try to lead the witness, right? So I want to make my own decision. Everyone has their own flavor palette. And some people are pickier than others. I'm not a picky eater. I'm really not. So, and even at that, not so hot. That's just the truth. Now, here's what's interesting. If you like treats, if you like pastries, if you like bread, okay, this place, 10 out of 10. And I'm from New York, so we pride ourselves on having the best bread. And I'll die in that hill. Some of the finest places where you can get pastries and all sorts of different desserts and whatnot. I don't know who does their desserts, if they do it in-house or they source it out. It is hands down some of the finest bread and pastries I've ever had. So if you've got a sweet tooth and that's your thing, you will be very, very happy here. Very happy in terms of that type of food. Meals, not so much. Not so much. All right, pools. So we're big pool people. We love the pools. Pools here, beautiful. First pool, which goes behind that bridge over there and goes like, we call it the Olympic pool because you can do laps. Swim up bar right there. Then you have part of the spa, which is not included on a base subscription here or reservation sort of thing. You have to subscribe to this. But they have infinity pools and hot tubs and jacuzzis and all that other good stuff. Really nice. Second pool is back here. These pools are huge. These pools are absolutely enormous. It's not like a cruise where everyone's elbow to elbow in the cruise, in the pool for a cruise. Not like that at all. You can go find your own little spot and be left alone, hang out with your family, and really enjoy yourself in these pools. They're 4 feet deep, which is pretty standard, so no one's gonna get hurt. There's lifeguards here that kind of pay attention, but I don't know. Keep an eye on your kids, as you should. The resort went through a major refurbishment back in 2012, and I'm only saying that to point out a few things that we've noticed, specifically with the pools, right? I get it, everything ages out and breaks down as time goes on. The tiles pop off the pool walls at an alarming rate, to a point where almost on a daily, you see repair people sticking new tiles in. Kids are running around making a game of it. And you see them running around holding palmfuls of tiles. So I'm guessing it's age and erosion and whatever it might be that's kind of taking its toll. On that note, I'm not that kind of person. I don't care about these kind of things. But in good faith, when you do a review, you should be as honest and transparent as possible. The emphasis on the refurbishment of the resort clearly paid off on the outside exterior parts of the resort. They're beautiful. You walk the grounds, some of the nicest grounds I've ever had the pleasure of, taking in. Just beautiful, absolute gorgeous. The place is immaculate, it's spotless, as it should be. And when you start going inside places, like inside the restaurants, inside the rooms, that's where it all starts to kind of fall apart. Where like you'll have rusty, dirty vents, or trim work that's all corroded, grout that's all failed in the showers and bathrooms. Toilets, I hear, have a hard time flushing. Things like that. Again, do I care? No, I don't care. But you're paying money for something. You should really have, the best of everything. And it kind of falls apart when it comes to that kind of stuff. So maybe the emphasis is on the outside, not the inside. Beach. Beach is beautiful. Let me get a little bit closer to the beach. That's always the one question everyone asks. How's the seaweed? So we're in July here, middle of July. There's seaweed here. I never judge a resort based on the seaweed that washes up on the shore. I only judge a resort based on how fast they are to make an effort to clean it. So all night they run trucks back and forth the shoreline to clean up, and all throughout the day there'll be workers out here with shovels and pickup trucks trying to keep as much control of the seaweed as possible. There is seaweed that's currently there right now. Last night I could tell you they had trucks running up and down non-stop, deep into the night, cleaning. It's just how it goes this time of year. That's not a resort phenomenon. That is a nature thing. Don't be fooled by people saying, no, I went to such and such resort and they had no seaweed. Not true. Not true. So don't listen to that. Now, I have been to resorts where they did a lackluster job on cleaning up. That's a different situation. But I can't say that for this place. They have made a great effort on trying to keep that clean. All right, let's get to more of the positive. Let's get to more of the positive aspects of the resort. I mentioned before, the grounds are beautiful. There is always something to do if you're okay keeping yourself occupied. Now, some people don't like coming to resorts because they feel they get a little stir crazy. After a while, you feel closed in, the walls are coming in on you. That is impossible in this resort. When I tell you, it is like a city in itself. I'm just barely scratching the surface over here. This goes on and on and on and on. It'll take you a solid 20 minutes to walk from one part of that shoreline that belongs to us all the way down where our private part of the beach ends. A good solid 20 minutes. And all throughout that travel, it's just more and more of this resort. More and more restaurants, more and more hotel rooms, bars, things like that. This is the center, this is like the nucleus of the resort. So I would imagine most of those people who are all the way down there in nowhere's land, they have to spend their day on trolleys to get over here if they feel like eating, having drinks, going to different restaurants, going shopping, taking in one of the shows, things like that. Trolleys are big out here. I'm lucky enough where I'm positioned. I don't need the trolley to get around. I'm a 5-minute walk away, so I'm cool with that. I have been in other resorts where I'm stuck with the trolley. That can get painful. There are times you've literally just given up because the trolley's supposed to come at a certain time and it doesn't come, and it just doesn't work, especially if you have little kids. So just take that with a grain of salt when you book a room here. Try to get to where we are here, the main entrance, as close as humanly possible. Even if it's a 7 or a 10-minute walk, that's fine. But if you're stuck on the other part of the campus and the only way to get here is by a trolley or a 35-minute walk, you know, you might want to think that one through. Nighttime. So, tons of stores here. Tons of stores. And I figured, like all the other resorts, most of the stores all sell the same tchotchkes and souvenirs. I was kind of wrong on that. They actually have some really nice duty-free shops here. Perfume stores. There's a jewelry store, buyer beware. There's a store up there that sells fake Rolexes. You have your typical stuff, your cigars, your rum shops. But then they have like Quicksilver. They had like a Calvin Klein area for men. They had quality, like nice stuff. If you're stuck with your electronics, you have this store here that will gladly overcharge you for any accessory you may need here. For your GoPro, your cell phone, whatever it might be. And they have things like, there's an escape room over there. They have a bowling alley that's here. It's a small bowling alley. It's sort of a bowling alley. They have this area back here, which we were excited to go to, and then wildly let down. But they have like an auditorium where they do the live shows. So at nighttime we get dressed up, have a couple of drinks, and we're taking a show, as we have with other resorts. I would say the performances were high school level at best. First and foremost, I've been to resorts 10 years ago that looked like this, and that was state of the art at the time. Today, other resorts are way fancier. I feel like I'm in a high school gymnasium right now. And the talent that's been brought in, it's been fair at best. Lip syncers. They did a gymnastics, like a trapeze kind of thing. But even at that, it's not on par with what I've seen other resorts do. So the emphasis is not there. Now the bar, there's a bar here. There's a second floor to this unit. That bar is packed and the booze is flowing. So again, you can tell where the priorities are. Live entertainment, booze, keep it going. So it all depends on what your needs and desires are when going on a vacation. More stores. I mean, just tons of stores. A little dangerous if you got little kids, they start seeing these things, they're gonna hound you. They've got like virtual racing simulator room here for young boys and girls if they are into that kind of thing, or men or women, whatever. Let's come on to the other side of the campus here. It's a totally different vibe. All right, so this is a quieter part of the resort. If you can imagine a resort, I mean, the resort's huge. I can't overstate that enough. Picture a big rectangle. So we just traveled from the shallow parts of the rectangle. If I was to go the long part of the rectangle, it'd probably take me 25, 30 minutes to do that. And there's a lot of dead space, meaning like hotel rooms and stuff like that. So there's nothing really to report. This is more of the action part of the resort where we just were. And then on the other side of the road, you've got your water park, probably geared more towards like little kids. So if you're staying with toddlers or little kids for that matter, this is a pretty cool spot. It's been tricky to film this because I'd never filmed when there's kids here for obvious reasons, but it's early in the morning, no one's here. So they got a pirate ship and they have all those different slides and all that other cool stuff. So definitely a pro if you've got little kids. If you're coming here with little kids like I have a million years ago, and they're happy just eating little chicken nuggets and french fries and pastries and then running back in the pool, you'll probably be fine here. All right, if you're a golfer, I don't golf. I'd imagine if I did golf, I would love this place. The golf course here is huge and it's absolutely beautiful. They have all these beautiful ponds here and all sorts of water life. Absolutely, just gorgeous. If you're into sports, I see people have little running clubs here in the morning, jogging all around, because that's how big the campus is. So people come and run, paddleball, pickleball, tennis, basketball, baseball. There's a baseball field here. I haven't seen it. I've seen it on the map. It's a baseball field. That's how big this place is, on top of the golf course. I want to tell you this is an 18-hole golf course. I'm almost positive. Got a beautiful church overlooking the pond right here. And into the back of it, more water parks for the kids. There's another one back there. And all sorts of rooms that are separating that whole area. So it makes sense, traveling with little kids, you situate yourself in one of those rooms over there, and then you're a stone throw away from the water park where your kid will probably be spending most of its day. Who will be happy here? Who won't be happy here? Loaded question. If you're a foodie, like I said, if you're coming down here hoping to have one of the best pieces of steak, poultry, or fish, you're not going to be happy here. Hate to break it to you. Not going to happen. You like pastries? You're going to love it here. I mean, you name it. I have not had a bad dessert since I'm down here. Every dessert has just blown me away. If you like pools, beautiful pools here. Clean, beautiful pools. If you care about the light fixtures in your room, or the room has a TV from 2015 and there's no high def TV, you're not gonna like it here. I don't care about that kind of stuff. I'm not here to watch TV. It's just worth mentioning. You know, you go into the restaurants, the outside of the restaurant's beautiful. You go inside the restaurant, the air vents are dirty, there's mold on the ceiling. Not all of them, some restaurants. You know, the trim work is really just dated. Again, does it matter to me? No. It's just something that has to be said. Because it's uncommon when you go to other resorts. You know, everything kind of just falls in place and falls in line with each other. This is like they did patchwork. They made this outside look really nice. Then when you go inside, you go, ugh. I guess they ran out of money. Beach. If you're a beach goer, beautiful beach. Not the biggest beach in terms of depth. It's a shallow beach, but it's a beautiful beach. And like I said, it just goes on and on and on. So you're never gonna be stuck trying to get a chair somewhere, having a hard time finding a place to settle for the day. The beach is just that enormous. It is, they make it clear when you come here, this isn't the shoreline that they're necessarily proud of. It's not the Caribbean shoreline necessarily. So if you're looking for those aqua blue waters and things like that, there's not going to be an abundance of that on this side of the island. That's just, again, it's not a resort situation. It's just where we're situated. Staff. I'm low maintenance. I don't like being catered to. I don't like being waited on hand and foot. It's not my thing. No judgment if that is your thing. It's not my thing. Staff here is not the friendliest, and I didn't notice that until like day 2, where I made, you know, buddies with someone at the pool, and then we met their buddies. Next thing you know, we're all talking, and that seems to be a common theme. You come down here, people say hello, you say hello back. It's not the case here. It's not like, no one's been rude, no one's been mean, but there are times like you'll ask for a drink and you feel like you're bothering the bartender because you interrupted his conversation with the other bartender. And that's not the case. I'm patiently waiting, you know, I'm on vacation, I'm in no hurry. But it doesn't feel like some of the staff here is of the caliber of other resorts I've stayed at, say like maybe Iberostar or Royalton, where there's more of an emphasis on that hospitality. Again, I never felt disrespected. I wasn't disrespected. It's just, it's more amateur league compared to other resorts I've been to. So it's a mixed bag. It's hard to sit there and say, yeah, you gotta come down here. Or no, stay away, go somewhere else. I'm trying to look at this from every angle I possibly can. You know, I'm sure if it's within your price point, and this is, I think it is more of the aggressively priced resorts in terms of economy. You're gonna get what you pay for, especially with food. But if you can look past that kind of stuff and be happy with hanging out in the pool all day and just chilling out with your family and doing your own thing, you're gonna have a good time. It's nice. Would I come back here? Nah. One and done for me on this one. There are other resorts I would go back to. I like trying new ones, but there are others where one time was just not enough. Like Planet Hollywood, I went back there twice. Iberostar, it's my favorite. I've been there twice. There's no point. And to be brutally honest, because the similarities between this one and the one in Mexico, I don't know if I would ever do a Barcelo again. Because if this is the common theme, there's probably no point. You know, it would have to be something so aggressively priced, meaning cheap, that you go, whatever, that's the cost of my savings. If I'm only spending X amount, I'm cool with not having the best food or the best accommodations. But it would have to be aggressively priced. If it was on par with another resort in terms of how much it costs, I'd roll the dice and try a different resort. So I hope this helps. Like I said, this is probably one of the darker reviews I've ever done, because I'm not that guy. I'm really happy. I'm really easily pleased, but I wouldn't be doing this service and this channel any justice by lying, right? Clearly I'm not sponsored by any of these places. That'd be kind of cool if I was. And they certainly wouldn't be happy with the review I just gave if I was. So let me know if you have questions. I hope this was helpful. I hope I got everything. You've got your standard stuff. You have a gym right here, things like that. I'm just trying to, before I quit it here, try to get to everything. I'm sure I missed some stuff, but if you have any questions or any other concerns or experiences similar to this or different, let me know. I'm curious what your experience here is. Well, thank you for watching.